Have you ever been in an elevator when it suddenly starts moving? Or been on a bus when it suddenly slams the brakes? And felt as though some mysterious force is pulling you in a direction that doesn't make sense? The question is, where does this force come from? Is it something the universe has created for these moments, something new and inexplicable? In the framework of the energy filament theory, these so-called fictitious forces are not new forces created by the universe at all. Rather, they are simply the result of you sitting on a reference frame that is being dragged or pulled along, and you misinterpreted the discrepancy between the whole system being moved and your structure wanting to stick to the original path as a force being directly applied to you. It's a misreading of the situation, and the key to understanding it lies in how we interpret the movement of the space around us. Let's break this down with an analogy. Imagine you are standing on an incredibly large conveyor belt. The belt and the path underneath you are moving at a steady and consistent speed, and everything is synchronized. However, imagine someone suddenly speeds up the conveyor belt's motor, while your body still wants to follow the old rhythm. The floor beneath you is now being pulled in a new direction, and it begins to move faster than you can keep up with. Your body is still trying to follow its original path, but the entire reference frame is changing, and that feels like you're being pulled backwards by some invisible force. But if you look at the situation from the energy C's perspective, you'll realize that the floor beneath you is being dragged, and you are simply trying to maintain the original path, which leads to the sensation of being pulled. This principle applies to an elevator as well. When an elevator starts going up quickly, the entire elevator cabin along with the air inside, the floor, the walls, and even the objects in it forms a single reference frame that is being pulled upward by an external force. Meanwhile, your internal structure, the motion of your body, is still trying to follow its original downward path. This leads to a mismatch between the movement of the elevator and your body's natural rhythm, which causes the feeling of weight, as if an additional force is pulling you down. However, when the elevator is in free fall, you and the elevator move along with the energy C's natural gradient. In this case, the motion is synchronized. There's no extra force being applied, and as a result, the sensation of weight disappears. You experience weightlessness, as there's no more external forces acting on you, only the natural motion in sync with the energy C. The same principle applies when you're on a rotating carousel. Imagine you're standing on a circular, rotating coordinate grid. As you stand still, the path beneath you twists and moves in a circular pattern, while your body naturally wants to continue moving in a straight line. Every part of you is trying to break free from this curved path. The difference between your natural straight line movement and the rotation of the path beneath you is interpreted as a pulling outward force. This is exactly what you experience as centrifugal force. It's not some invisible hand pushing you outward. It's simply your body's natural tendency to move in a straight line while the reference frame beneath you is pulling you in circles. Now that we've established this, let's tackle the roots of the so-called fictitious force we experience. The reality is that these forces arise when you are using a reference frame that is actively being altered by an external force. In this situation, you continue to interpret that reference frame as stationary or unchanging, which leads you to misinterpret the resulting effects as a force acting on you. What's really happening, however, is that the system you're part of is changing direction, and the forces you feel are simply the result of that change in direction. In essence, when you're on that moving conveyor belt, in the elevator, or on the spinning carousel, you're not being acted upon by a strange new force that's created out of nowhere. Instead, what you're feeling is the result of the reference frame you're in shifting and changing in a way that causes your body to misinterpret the situation. Your body is still trying to stick to its original path, while the reference frame you're in moves differently, and this mismatch is what causes you to feel a force acting on you. So, the next time you find yourself in an elevator or on a rotating ride, take a moment to think about how what you're feeling is actually not some mysterious new force, but the result of the forces that govern motion in the energy C. It's not a new force being added. It's just the energy C recalculating and adjusting the dynamics of everything inside it. Tap follow, share it on New Physics, clear universe.